Any company can be bought with a leverage buyout. Any company. The key is how you structure the deal. And the challenge has been that the absence of assets within the company, because it's a service business, it doesn't have machinery, it doesn't have equipment, it may not have its own facility. The employees may work remotely; they may not even have a facility. And the reality of it is, there's nothing there to finance. In fact, you'll enjoy this. The finance industry refers to these companies as airballs. In other words, income coming in, but nothing to them of substance. Well, we have been very successful in learning how to structure these companies to put a equity base into the company without the buyer having to come up with that equity. So we are able to put the buyer in a position to overcome the normal reluctance of finance institutions to finance the acquisition of the company by the proprietary and frankly trade secret methods that we use to accomplish this. A lot of times when people think of doing a leveraged buyout, those who are even knowledgeable about the process, think in terms of the assets that are within the company that you want to buy. So there's the machinery, there's equipment in the manufacturing company, there's the inventory, there's accounts receivable, it may even be landed buildings. Well, those are all leverageable assets within the company. But what people generally don't think about is there are many other points of leverage in when you're looking to buy a company. And this is true, by the way, of service businesses as well as manufacturing businesses, where you don't have assets within the company you want to buy in order to make the purchase. So let me give you an example of what some of these might be. For example, you as a buyer may have certain leverage ability to your own ability to acquire the company. You may already own a business, and that business might have accounts receivable, inventory, machinery, and equipment, or facilities that can be refinanced as a way of getting additional capital. You can take, when you're buying a business and you own a business, and do something called wraparound finance. In other words, you go to your lender and you don't just borrow against the assets of the company that you're buying, but you wrap the loan around the company you're buying's assets plus your own assets, dramatically increasing the amount of credit that's available to you to purchase the company. You can bring in investors and leverage other people's money. You can leverage the seller themselves in many ways. And we have a lot of technique for doing that. You can leverage the broker who brought you the business in letting them loan you back a portion of their commission in order to cover a portion of the purchase price. And they'll do that, by the way, rather than lose the deal. If you're short of on a little bit of that cash, they'll loan you back a little of it in order to help close the deal. So even the government is leverageable. There are opportunity zones where they make certain features available to you to help you leverage into the purchase of a business. You know, the list goes on and on. It's very, very long. And the key to what I'm trying to explain to you is until you dive into it, until you take the opportunity to work with somebody like us, where we can expose to you all the ways that there are to leverage yourself into business, that if you're sitting on the sidelines, wishing you own the business and not realizing all the sources of capital and leverage that are open to you, then you're making simply a mistake. You've got to dive into it. You got to look to how do you learn these applications of leverage and find the ones that are right for you. I'll give you another example. A lot of people are sitting on 401ks where you've been building up money in this thing for years. And when you retire, it's going to pay you a pittance amount of money in income that somehow you're going to have to figure out how to survive on. And yet in that couple of $100,000, that isn't a great retirement for you. That money is actually accessible. It can be used to buy a business that can produce for you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in income from now on throughout retirement. So you've got cash sitting available to you that if you retire on it won't last. But if you use it to buy a business and then leverage the rest of the purchase price, you have something that can produce phenomenal income today and way more in retirement than that few dollars spread out over your retirement years is going to yield to you. Looking into buying a business that has earnings and cash flow is an intelligent thing to do as a middle income earner who wants to build some significant wealth and retire.